Replaying video games is honestly one of my favorite things to do. Don't get me wrong, I love playing a new game for the first time and immersing myself in that world, learning the lore, meeting new characters, exploring the map, and using new gameplay mechanics. But when the credits roll on a game I really enjoyed, I usually mark that game as something I'll go back and play again later. I find it immensely enjoyable to go back and play through a game I had a great time with. It's something I've always done and never really questioned until recently. The other day I had a conversation with a friend of mine about replaying games. I'm currently playing through Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic again for an upcoming video that I'm working on, and I was explaining to my friend how I go back and replay certain games every few years. He was very much against this idea. Like me, he's played a lot of different games over the years and has several titles that he looks back on fondly. Unlike me, however, he doesn't go back and replay them. My friend saw it as a waste of time to play through something you've already completed. He couldn't understand why anyone would spend their time playing a game where they already know what's going to happen and what they need to do to complete it. Our conversation got me thinking about why it is I enjoy replaying games so much. Back when I was a kid, I started replaying games more out of necessity. I've loved playing video games for as long as I can remember, growing up on games like Ocarina of Time, Halo, and Metroid Prime. While I would get a few new games every Christmas or for my birthday, I didn't have a huge selection of games to choose from. If I wanted to keep playing video games, I had to go back and play through the ones I had already beaten until I could get my hands on a new game. I can't tell you how many times I've beaten the first Paper Mario or ruined Bowser's Family Vacation in Super Mario Sunshine. It's gotten to the point where I can pretty much tell you how to beat each game from memory alone. As I've gotten older, my library of games has expanded and I can finally afford to buy my own games. I've started replaying games less frequently, but I've never stopped replaying them. Even today, with an entire backlog of games I have yet to start, I still make time to go back and play through my favorite games every few years. There's no reason for me to keep doing this anymore, so why do I keep going back to some of these games again and again and again? Well, the first thing I thought of was nostalgia. Everyone gets nostalgic about something they've enjoyed from their past, whether it's a favorite game, a favorite event, or really any type of favorite memory, and I'm certainly no different. I've been nostalgic for plenty of games that I've played over the years, and that's definitely contributed to my desire to replay certain games. However, I think nostalgia only does so much for replaying an entire video game, especially after multiple playthroughs. It might get you to pop in the disc and play for an hour or two, maybe even an entire day, but it usually won't bring you to the end of a game you've already beaten. There needs to be something else to take you to the finish line, and that something is going to be different from person to person. Nostalgia is definitely a big factor, but I think there's more to it than that. As I've been continuing my replay of Knights of the Old Republic, I've begun to realize the impact that this game had on me and how it makes me feel every time I play it. Between the amazing story, the beautiful soundtrack, the excellent character design, and the unique gameplay systems, KOTOR is a work of art that has, quite honestly, affected me on a deeply personal level. Every time I play through this game, I feel a sense of safety and security. The second I hear that Endar Spire music during the character creation, I'm immediately transported back to my childhood. That feeling of anticipation of embarking on an epic quest to become a Jedi and save the galaxy is somehow both calming and thrilling. It's a quest I've been on many times before, yet somehow I'm always still excited, like it's the first time I'm playing this game. I may know exactly what's going to happen, but I know I'm going to enjoy it, so that knowledge doesn't actually bother me. In fact, it's sort of comforting knowing you're going to enjoy what's about to happen. I'm not trying to say that playing a new game is stressful because you don't know what to expect, just that knowing what happens next can be very comforting and enjoyable in its own right if you like what's about to happen. Reliving my favorite gaming moments has a sort of soothing and almost therapeutic effect for me. Video games have always been my favorite way to relax, allowing me to escape to another world and immerse myself in everything it has to offer. I can put myself in the shoes of a great hero and go on a grand adventure to save a kingdom, a planet, or a galaxy. When I find an adventure that really speaks to me, it becomes a big part of my life, of my identity as a gamer. I want to return to these worlds and relive those experiences over and over again. Nostalgia plays a big part in that for sure, but it takes more than that for me to replay certain games. I've tried replaying many games because of nostalgia that I ended up dropping after a couple of hours or only a day or two. These games didn't bring out those feelings of comfort and relaxation that certain other games do for me. That doesn't mean they're bad games, they just didn't resonate with me the same way other games did. When I realized this, it dawned on me that KOTOR wasn't the only game that made me feel this way. All the games I replay constantly elicit the same emotions and have the same effect on me. Ocarina of Time, Paper Mario, Metroid Prime, Sonic Adventure 2, Wind Waker, Halo 3, and many others give me that same sense of comfort. Even Even newer games like The Witcher 3 and Breath of the Wild are relaxing and comforting for me to play through multiple times, even though I didn't grow up with them. I still get goosebumps every time I pull the Master Sword from the pedestal, regardless of how many times I've done it across multiple Zelda games. Revisiting Tropical Isle Delfino always makes me feel like I'm on vacation, whether it's the middle of July or the dead of winter. Being a one-man army taking on waves of Covenant is still satisfying, no matter how many grunt heads I've turned into confetti. These games all resonated with me on a deeply personal level, and they will be a big part of my life for as long as I live. Look, there's nothing wrong with the way my friend plays games. If he doesn't enjoy replaying something he's already beaten, then there's no reason for him to play it. At the end of the day, video games are all about having fun, and you should play them in whatever way is most fun for you. I will always play new games because I love that sense of wonder and discovery that comes with playing a game for the first time. But revisiting a game can be just as enjoyable if it means something to you. When I replay my favorite games, I get to experience those comforting emotions and have fun reliving my favorite gaming moments. And honestly, that's all the reason I need to replay video games.